Why do they want to change genders on children? What is the purpose? So it's part of the Karl Marx agenda. That's what the hospitals and the far left crazy people are doing, because it's the whole idea is to eliminate gender because of labor. Yeah, so it's sick. The people that are doing this are sick, and many that they just are following what they think is science, except they're destroying healthcare because they're not using science. And what's driven behind it, again, labor. It's all about money. Whether people are consciously aware of it or not, the root of gender ideology is Marxist, and its gamut is the construction of the egalitarian society through the obliteration of the division of gender. And the gender revolution is another prong in the full-throated attack on the family. Yeah, I said that before. That's Karl Marx. It was all about destroying the family, because then you can destroy gender. So that's the reason they're pushing it on kids. That's the reason, unfortunately, we have healthcare that's going along with it. And what is it all about? They say it's about equality, or inequity, the DEI stuff, diversity, equity, inclusiveness. That's all Karl Marx teaching. That's why it's all politically driven. It's not science based, but they've trained all these doctors in the universities, and the universities all agree with this. This is why you see all the racism on the campuses. These professors not even being able to denounce terrorist organizations. Okay, those are the people that have trained these doctors, trained these surgeons, trained many of these people that are so higher educated going along with this. And you won't get them to see it because they think they're so smart. But this is history. Yeah, most people are familiar with Karl Marx having written the Communist Manifesto. Fewer are familiar with Marx's the German ideology, but the German ideology lays the groundwork for the materialistic dialect and the movement to communism. Yeah, that's ultimately what it's about. It's so that the top wealthiest, your hospital CEOs, that's why they all merged into one. And since then, quality continues to be destroyed because they don't have to have the best equipment. I mean, I read articles all the time about, like, I read today about an MRI machine that actually hurt a nurse because of the magnets in it, like really like crushed her. I mean, she was okay, but major lawsuit. And it wasn't just some freak. It happens regularly because there's no safety standards for that, really. That's what the article, that's what they said. And there isn't. When you have your whole healthcare system operating on DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, then don't expect safety regulations to come into play. They'll talk about it, but their goal, and unfortunately our institutions, the heads of them are going along with it. Their goal is a sick agenda. That's why I say these people they all need to be removed. Many probably need some mental health help. But I think they know what they're going along with, which tells you even more so how sick they are. Criminally sick. So it's all about, with Marx, the starting point of inequality is the sexual division of labor. That is the result of the biological division between male and female. So what do they want to do? They want to destroy gender. So how do you do that? Turn gender upside down, first of all. Then make it so that the healthcare system is doing all these surgeries on people that end up later, especially if it's on children, they regret it because they can't have children. It ruins their life. But that's how much the ideology is ingrained in the head of the nursing profession, in the head of the medical profession, in the education system at the top. It's very sick, very sick. Speaking about how the division of labor began in ancient tribal societies and developed from there, thus sparking inequality which comes from the division of labor. Marx says, quote, there develops the division of labor, which was originally nothing but the division of labor in the sexual act. Then that division of labor, which develops spontaneously or naturally by virtue of natural male and female. So it's all just about wanting to have more slaves, you know, and yet people believe Karl Marx stuff, especially your higher educated, believe that he was all about everybody being equal. And so they have to destroy the family unit so that they can have this utopia. And that's where your you know, this machine stuff comes in, and AI is that, you know, with as crazy as the World Economic Forum is to be talking about transhumanism, you know, which is, you know, hooking you up to computers and, I mean, just crazy stuff. And I'm sure that's what they've been up to in the science. I mean, they certainly were gotten a lot of money for decades and decades and decades and decades, and they haven't solved a damn disease. They have not. So they have been up to sick agendas because it's always been about communism. I think it's very difficult for people that are not like that aren't, you know, so warped in their head to think that people are like that. No, they're like that. You see them. They're heading up nursing right now. They're heading up the medical profession. They're heading up the hospital system. They're heading up the education system. And we have so many that are in Washington and have been there. It's just most people haven't been paying attention until Trump came into office. But they've been at work for a long time to destroy the family. Yeah, I mean, that's what abortion's about. I mean, they're like a death cult. It's sick. It really, if you want to trace it far enough back, it goes back to the Bible. They have this warped sense of, you know, and it's always this way. They bring it on the idea that we're going to make everything equal. No, they destroy everything. So the people that are already rich will get richer and you'll get poorer, and they will have destroyed your family, destroyed your children. And yet in their sick, twisted mind, these higher educated, because that's who's running the head of nursing and education and medicine, thinking they're sick mind. That's why I say they've been too educated, because they just are following something sick, and you won't be able to convince them otherwise. That's not people that cannot think should not be heading up anything. In the case of feminism, the problem is a moral one. The biological family unit has always oppressed women and children, but now, for the first time in history, technology has created real preconditions for overthrowing these oppressive natural conditions along with their cultural reinforcements. It goes on to say, moreover, the family unit is the first structure that engenders inequality. This is Marx, though. For the family is the manifestation of the original sexual division of labor. Return to or regarding the family always oppressing women and children. This is the whole reason the feminist movement was created years ago. I mean, people think it was about voting, and yeah, no, it was pretty much to be used always, just like they used the transgender group, they used the black group, I mean, the BLM. It's all different sects of wanting to do the same thing, and that's to destroy America from within. And unfortunately, all of our institutions are going along with it. That's clearly obvious. And it's all straight from Marx. The war on gender is a war against the family, because the sexual division of labor, which is the root of all inequality, according to Marx, is first substantiated by the family, which then influences state and laws. So, yeah. So they want to dictate laws in the state, and what they want to dictate is that the wealthy will have more. The heads of the hospital, the heads of the nursing profession, heads of every union too, and the education system, and the politicians, and they could give a shit about you. I know it's sad. I'm not trying to be heartless saying it like that. I'm just saying that's how heartless they are. We don't need heartless people heading up medicine, most especially, or nursing, or any of it. That is how you get to this place. And the only way to turn this track around is realize that no matter what they have on the ballot, look into anything you say before you say yes to something. because likely they have a hidden agenda, especially if it's a vote on an amendment.